Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to Al Jazeera, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has downplayed reports of a rift with U.S. President Donald Trump, after Trump confirmed he recently called the Israeli leader, Valbri, crazy during a phone call. Trump told reporters he berated Netanyahu over Israel's military escalation in Lebanon, which has threatened to derail peace talks between the United States and Iran. Despite the harsh criticism, Trump maintained that he still likes Bibi a lot and works well with him. In an interview with CNBC, Netanyahu rejected the notion of any shifting ties, describing Trump as the greatest friend that Israel has ever had in the White House. Netanyahu emphasized that while tactical disagreements occur, the two leaders share a mutual respect and are aligned on key objectives, including the disarmament of Hezbollah and the demilitarization of Lebanon. The ongoing fighting in southern Lebanon has displaced hundreds of thousands of people, but Netanyahu claimed he ultimately seeks peace with Lebanon. Diplomatic efforts in Washington have so far failed to secure a ceasefire. According to Al Jazeera, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has strongly condemned a new United States proposal to impose a 25% tariff on certain Brazilian imports. Lula expressed deep surprise and disappointment, stating that Brazil cannot accept the treatment it has received, particularly after a White House meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump in May left him optimistic about improving bilateral ties. The relationship between the two nations has been strained since Trump returned to office in 2025, with disputes arising over trade, human rights, and geopolitical issues. The U.S. Trade Representative claimed the new tariff proposal followed a Section 3W Sonde I investigation into alleged unfair trade practices, such as illegal deforestation, and pointed to a giant trade deficit. However, public economic data refutes this claim, showing the U.S. actually maintains a trade surplus with Brazil. Experts note that this tariff move represents a shift in strategy for the Trump administration, using Section 3W Sonde I's work deliberation a chit and strategy for the Trump administration, using Section 3W Sonde I after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down global tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The proposed tariffs will undergo a public comment period until early July, with key Brazilian exports like beef, coffee, and aircraft parts exempt. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan and Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto held an extremely productive meeting in Jakarta to discuss deepening bilateral ties. Al Jazeera reported, the primary focus of the talks was evaluating projects to achieve a mutual bilateral trade volume target of $10 billion, an objective agreed upon in April last year. During the meeting, the two leaders explored opportunities to expand cooperation across various sectors, including defense, energy, transportation, and the halal food industry. Beyond economic collaboration, President Prabowo expressed his gratitude to Turkey for its support in repatriating 9 Indonesian citizens. The individuals had been abducted by Israel as part of a crackdown on the global Sumud Flotilla 2.0 humanitarian mission to Gaza. Additionally, the two nations exchanged views on regional developments in the Middle East, focusing specifically on Iran and Palestine. Both Turkey and Indonesia, as prominent nations of the Global South, emphasized that regional stability should be maintained through dialogue, diplomacy, and the peaceful resolution of conflicts. According to CBS News, police in southwestern Ecuador have found 8 bodies packed in plastic bags on the outskirts of the town of Babahoyo. The discovery is believed to be linked to 8 individuals, including 2 miners who worked as rice farmers, who went missing on Sunday while traveling in the region. Interior Minister John Reinberg stated that a note discovered at the scene suggests the victims were targeted by the Los Lobos gang. This gang, recently designated a terrorist organization by the United States, is currently locked in a brutal turf war with the rival Los Choneros gang over lucrative drug trafficking routes. Ecuador has increasingly become a major transit hub for cocaine from neighboring Colombia and Peru, triggering a massive surge in gang-related violence. The grisly discovery comes amid a U.S.-backed military crackdown ordered by Ecuador's right-wing president Daniel Noboa, who has deployed troops and imposed curfews to stamp out organized crime. Despite the extradition of Choneros leader Adolfo Fido Macias to the United States in July 2025, gang violence remains highly active in the region. According to Sing Tao, Portugal was paralyzed on Wednesday by its second national general strike in 6 months, as workers vehemently protested proposed labor law reforms. The massive strike caused widespread disruptions, shutting down school operations, halting the Lisbon metro, and prompting the national railway to suspend long-distance and regional trains. In the aviation sector, Portugal's flag carrier, TAP, canceled over 70% of its scheduled flights, while hospitals postponed non-urgent surgeries and consultations due to nursing staff walkouts. The protest is aimed at the minority center-right government's plan to amend over 100 labor law provisions, a move supported by the far-right Chega party. While the government argues that these reforms will enhance productivity, lower business costs, and attract foreign investment to boost the economy, labor unions argue that the changes will severely exploit workers. Opponents, particularly younger employees, fear the changes will lock them into precarious, unstable contracts, force unpaid overtime, and make it easier for companies to dismiss staff. The escalating tension underscores the growing conflict over economic competitiveness versus workers' social protections in the country. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.